What is the similarity between philosophers and drummers? They both view time as an abstract concept. What's the last thing that a drummer says in a band? Hey guys, how about we try one of my songs? The drummer decides one day, look, he's had enough of this, enough of the jokes, enough of people putting him down. So he says, all right, I'm going to become a guitarist. So he goes down the street, walks into the shop and he says, look, I want to buy a Marshall with a quad box, a Flying V, some picks, a couple of distortion pedals, some guitar leads, the works. The bloke behind the counter looks at him and says, you're a drummer, aren't you, mate? And the drummer looks back and goes, yeah, I am. How did you know? And he says, the man behind the counter says, this is a post office. This story goes back to the days of the old Wild West. Two cavalry troopers are at the top of the hill looking out across the massed tribes preparing for battle. Drums are pounding away and one of the cavalry guys turns to the other and says, oh, I don't like the sound of those drums. And a voice comes from the bushes just off to the side and says, neither do we, that's not our normal drummer. What does the average drummer get on his IQ test? Drool. A guy working in the New York Mail Exchange comes across a letter addressed simply to the world's greatest drummer. That's a bit difficult. Who's he going to send it to? Well, here's a bit of a think, and he's a bit of a jazz fan, so he says, okay, I'll send it on to Max Roach. Now, Max Roach is a pretty humble drummer. He looks at it and goes, oh, look, I love the compliment, but it's not really for me. I'm going to have to send this to Gene Krupa. So he passes it on to Gene Krupa. Gene Krupa looks at it and goes, look, this makes my heart grow, but it's obviously not for me. It's got to be for Billy Cobham. So he sends it on to Billy Cobham. Billy Cobham looks at it and just says, oh, look, thank you guys. Everyone, this is wonderful, but it can't be for me. Let's send it on to Buddy Rich. So a few days later, there's on Buddy Rich's door. Buddy Rich is basking in the reflection of his favourite mirror and takes a bit of a break, goes down, answers the door, and mailman gives him the letter and he looks at it and goes, wow, another letter from one of my adoring fans. He opens it up and starts to read, Dear Ringo,